Whenever I think of protesting, I generally think of raising awareness about an issue, but at the same time, I think about the danger and violence. I think the danger and violence came from watching television news and seeing angry people yelling maliciously at the camera, or even worse, seeing an all-out fight between police and protesters. I've always known that media does their best to find images of violence that will attract an audience to their show, but nonetheless, the images are still there and somewhat frightening. However, protesting is an action that calls for a lot of emotion. In this case, people were upset about the shooting, killing, and cover-up of 17-year-old Laquan McDonald. Being killed by the people who are supposed to serve and protect is a serious issue. That's something to be mad about. When I looked at the crowd of people, I didn't feel scared. I just saw people who were concerned and mad at their government for betraying them. It made me even more angry about the media's agenda to create hysteria in order to get views and ratings. How could they not be thinking about how serious this issue is, and that it's not to be used as a publicity stunt? The weather was horrible that day. It was freezing rain. My hands were so numb from holding the camera, and every time I put them in my pocket to get it warm, I wouldn't even leave it in there long enough because I had to take the camera out again and shoot something. I remember I was standing on the street and I just ran across the street to get an interview with this young lady. Her name was Ariel Rogers. And all I asked her was what was going on. What are you doing, or what's happening here? Why are you guys linked in arms?
So that people can come in and support the corporations that don't support us. That's basically what we're here for. People don't listen unless their pockets are affected, unless their families are affected. So we're here to enforce change. No one wants to listen. We speak peacefully.
What's your name?
My name is Ariel Rogers.
Thank you. I was in the moment. I was interviewing her. As I was interviewing her, people were running by me, people were yelling, people were screaming, people were trying to get into stores, and just all of this was going on just to mark this one moment in time. I don't think we challenge our government as much as we should. We kind of let them be. And I think the same goes for the media. We let the media be. We let them do whatever they want, and we just let it happen, and we don't question it, and we don't think about it, and we don't think how it affects us, how it affects the people around us. What does it do? They're protesting, and they were locked arm in arms, and it stood for something. They were actually doing something about the issues that they saw were happening in their neighborhoods. They wanted to get out there. They wanted to raise awareness. They wanted to let the police know that they weren't going to stand up for that. And I had the privilege of standing in the moment and seeing that, seeing the divide between the people and the government, and seeing the people taking on the government and exercising their rights. Now, their rights wasn't just something that's on the Constitution. It was something that they were taking off of paper and putting into action. After some time, we ended up leaving downtown and going over to the Navy Pier and stuff because things were getting a little too crowded, and I guess we wanted to do a little bit more sightseeing because I had never been in the city. This was my first time, but it didn't matter if I was in the Navy Pier or I was seeing the Bean or seeing any other thing like that. I didn't want to see any more touristy attractions. It didn't matter to me. I didn't feel like a tourist anymore because nothing could replace that moment.